Gentlemen, let us start with an honest truth. Nearly 1 in 2 men over the age of 40 report some difficulty with sexual performance. Whether that is finishing too soon, struggling to stay firm, or feeling like their body is not responding the way it used to. These numbers come directly from large-scale studies, including work published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine and surveys conducted by the National Institutes of Health. In other words, if you have ever felt frustrated, embarrassed, or even hopeless about control during intimacy, you are far from alone. But here is where it gets complicated. Most men do not talk about this. They keep it to themselves, sometimes even hiding it from their partners. And because it is such a private concern, many turn to questionable advice found on late-night forums, social media hacks, or untested supplements. That flood of misinformation creates shame and confusion instead of clarity and solutions. So today, I want to change that. I want to treat this conversation exactly as I would in my clinic, calmly, respectfully, and evidence-based. The focus of today's consultation is something simple, natural, and overlooked: the use of topical oils and lubricants before masturbation or intimacy. This might sound basic, but the research is fascinating and the results can be immediate. In fact, the way certain oils interact with the skin, blood vessels, and nerve endings can make a dramatic difference in how long you last, how comfortable you feel, and how much control you regain. Think of it like this. Your pelvic region is a network of muscles, blood vessels, and highly sensitive nerves. When those nerves fire too quickly or when blood flow is restricted, the result is a body that races toward climax before you are ready. But by applying the right natural oil in the right way, you are not just making things smoother on the surface, you are influencing the tissue itself, calming nerve sensitivity, relaxing tense pelvic floor muscles, and boosting the hidden role of nerves in sensitivity circulation in the very areas that determine performance. Over the next 30 minutes, I am going to walk you through the science of this method. We will look at which oils have been studied, how they interact with the body, and why they are far more than just lubricants. We will also break down step by step how to apply them safely. And we will connect this practice to other simple daily habits that support lasting improvement. My promise is this: by the end of this session, you will not just know what oil to apply. You will understand the physiology behind it. You will have practical guidance you can start using today. And you will have the confidence of knowing this is grounded in clinical reasoning, not internet rumor. This is not about gimmicks or shortcuts. This is about using natural, safe, and scientifically sound strategies to give your body back the control it deserves. You deserve clarity, not fear. So let us dive in together. Let us start with the truth that surprises many men lasting longer in bed is not a question of willpower. It is not about being mentally tough enough or simply distracting yourself. In fact, research has shown that premature ejaculation and poor control often come down to a biological factor: nerve sensitivity in the pelvic region. Think of your pelvic nerves as electrical wires. Over time, especially as we age or deal with stress, those wires can become overactive. They fire signals too quickly to the brain and your body responds before you are ready. This is not weakness. It is physiology. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Urology noted that men with lifelong early climax often have hypersensitive nerve pathways in the penis and pelvic floor. That means the problem is not in your head. It is in the wiring. Now, here's where natural oils become powerful tools. Certain oils do more than lubricate. They interact directly with the nerve endings and the small blood vessels in the tissue. When applied properly, they create a soothing buffer that slows down nerve signaling. Imagine putting a protective cover over those electrical wires so they do not spark too quickly. The oil does not numb you the way a chemical anesthetic would. Instead, it calms the rush, giving your body time to respond more gradually. Castor oil, for example, contains a compound called ricinoleic acid, which has been shown in laboratory studies to reduce inflammation and calm nerve irritability. When massaged into the perineum, that small but powerful area between the scrotum and anus, castor oil penetrates into the tissue layers where those nerves live. The result is not just comfort on the surface, but a deeper steadiness that many men describe as taking the edge off. Coconut oil works differently because it is lighter and sits closer to the skin surface. It creates a cushion. For men who describe hypersensitivity as too much too fast, coconut oil can act like padding that softens stimulation without dulling sensation entirely. In clinical terms, it modifies the sensory input, letting the nervous system process pleasure more slowly. I often explain it to patients with this analogy. Imagine pouring water quickly into a small cup. It overflows right away. That is hypersensitivity. Now, imagine placing a filter over that cup so the water flows in more slowly and evenly. That is what the right oil can do for your nerves. And here's the encouraging part. Studies on topical therapies, including natural oils, have shown that repeated application can retrain nerve pathways over time. In other words, what starts as a temporary effect can gradually become a learned response. Your body begins to expect castor oil, deep penetration, and relaxation calm instead of urgency. So, the first big insight is this. Lasting longer is not about clenching harder, distracting yourself, or sheer willpower. It is about working with your body's nerves instead of against them. By applying the right oil before stimulation, you are quite literally calming the wiring system. This creates space for pleasure, space for control, and space for confidence. That is the foundation we will build on as we move forward. In the next section, we will connect this idea to circulation. Because while nerve activity sets the tempo, blood flow provides the energy. And both need to be in balance for true control. If nerves are the wiring system of sexual control, then blood flow is the power supply. Erections are at their core a vascular event. The penis fills with blood when the tiny arteries in the pelvic region widen and allow circulation to rush in. The veins then trap that blood, creating firmness. If this circulation is weak or restricted, you will notice two things. First, erections may not feel as firm or reliable. Second, you may experience a sense of urgency, a body that rushes too quickly toward climax. The research supports this. The Massachusetts male aging study, which followed men for decades, showed a direct correlation between cardiovascular health and erectile function. In fact, problems in the bedroom are often the earliest warning sign of vascular disease, appearing years before heart symptoms. That is how tightly linked circulation and sexual health truly are. So, how do oils fit into this picture? When applied to the perineum or gently along the shaft, certain oils help to relax the small muscles around blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and even nourish the vessel walls themselves. This may sound surprising, but your skin is not just a barrier. It is a living organ capable of absorbing compounds that influence the tissues underneath. Take olive oil as an example. Olive oil is rich in antioxidants, particularly vitamin E. Research published in the International Journal of Impotence Research highlights how vitamin E supports vascular elasticity, meaning the vessels can expand more freely when blood needs to flow in. By massaging olive oil into the pelvic area, you are not only creating smoother stimulation, you are also delivering protective compounds that keep those vessels flexible and responsive. Castor oil works slightly differently. It is thicker and its retinoleic acid penetrates deeper. Studies in complementary medicine journals have noted that castor oil packs can increase local blood circulation and lymphatic flow. Applied to the perineum, that same principle helps open up the microcirculation around the pelvic floor muscles and erectile tissue. Patients often describe a gentle warmth after applying castor oil. That warmth is blood flow waking up. Think of it like tending to a garden. If the soil is dry and compacted, water cannot move through and the plants struggle. But if you loosen the soil and add the right nutrients, suddenly water flows and everything thrives. Your pelvic circulation is much the same. Oils, when massaged with intention, help loosen, soften, and nourish the tissues so blood can move freely. Here is a practical tip I often share. If you want to enhance this circulatory effect, combine oil massage with gentle hip and pelvic stretches. Something as simple as drawing your knees toward your chest while lying down or rotating your hips in slow circles can open the blood vessels even more. Oils prepare the tissues and movement opens the pathways. So the second insight is this: control and endurance are not possible without healthy circulation. By applying oils like olive or castor oil, you are not just lubricating. You are improving blood flow, softening tissues, and fueling the very process that makes erections reliable. And if this is helping clarify things, give it a thumbs up and keep learning. The more we spread accurate information, the less men have coconut oil, the gentle protector to suffer in silence. Next, we are going to look at a hidden factor that few men ever think about: pelvic floor tension. This is the muscle layer that often works against you without you even realizing it. Now, let us shift our focus from nerves and blood vessels to something equally important, but often overlooked: the pelvic floor. Most men only hear about pelvic floor exercises when women are preparing for childbirth or recovery. But here is the truth. Your pelvic floor plays a central role in erections, climax, bladder control, and overall sexual confidence. Think of the pelvic floor like a hammock of muscles that sits at the base of your pelvis. It supports your bladder, rectum, and reproductive organs. When this hammock is balanced, not too tight and not too loose, everything works smoothly. But when the pelvic floor muscles are tense, and this happens more often than men realize, they can actually squeeze down on blood vessels and irritate the nearby nerves. The result is restricted circulation, increased urgency, and a faster climb toward climax than you want. Research backs this up. A study published in BJU International found that men with chronic pelvic pain or premature ejaculation often showed signs of abnormal pelvic floor tension. In simple terms, their muscles were stuck in contract mode, and that constant tightness disrupted sexual function. This is where topical oils become not just a lubricant, but a therapeutic tool. When you massage oils like castor, almond, or olive oil into the perineum, that soft space between the scrotum and anus, you are doing more than moisturizing. You are applying gentle, steady pressure to the pelvic floor muscles themselves. Over time, this pressure signals the muscles to relax, much like loosening a tight knot in your shoulder with massage therapy. Castor oil is especially effective for this purpose because of its natural anti-inflammatory compounds. Almond oil also shines here thanks to its high magnesium content, a mineral directly linked to muscle relaxation. When absorbed into the tissues, magnesium helps calm the firing of muscle fibers, reducing that hidden tension. Patients often describe the change like this. Before massage, intimacy feels like driving a car with the accelerator pressed too hard. Everything happens too fast. After consistent oil massage, it feels like the accelerator is finally under control. You can press when you want, ease up when you want, and the car responds smoothly. Here is a practical technique. After warming a dime-sized amount of oil in your palms, place your fingers on the perineum and make slow circular motions. Keep the pressure light at first, just enough to make contact. Then gradually deepen it over 3 to 5 minutes. As the oil sinks in, you may notice warmth, a gentle tingling, or even a sense of heaviness lifting from the pelvis. These are good signs that the muscles are releasing and circulation is improving. So the third insight is this. If you want lasting control, you cannot ignore the pelvic floor. Tension in these hidden muscles can sabotage your efforts without you realizing it. But with consistent oil massage and gentle stretches, you can retrain these muscles to relax, support stronger erections, and slow down the path to climax. And if this resonates with you, comment below. Many men do not realize how powerful pelvic floor release can be, and your story might encourage someone else to finally take action. Next, we will move into a fascinating comparison: the difference between surface lubrication and deeper therapeutic absorption. This is where we compare oils like coconut and castor and why choosing the right one matters for olive oil, circulation, and vascular support your specific needs. At this point, you may be wondering, are all oils the same? If olive oil, almond oil, castor oil, and coconut oil can all be used, does it really matter which one you choose? The answer is yes. It matters very much. The reason lies in the difference between surface lubrication and deep therapeutic absorption. Surface lubrication is exactly what it sounds like. It provides a slippery barrier that reduces friction during intimacy or massage. Coconut oil is an excellent example of this. It sits on the surface of the skin and creates a smooth, pleasant texture. Many couples enjoy it because it feels natural and has mild antibacterial properties. But coconut oil does not penetrate very deeply into the tissues. It does its work mostly on the outside. Therapeutic absorption, on the other hand, goes beyond the surface. Oils like castor and almond are able to sink deeper into the skin, reaching the underlying muscles and blood vessels. This is due to their molecular structure. Castor oil, with its unique renoleic acid, penetrates through the skin layers and influences lymphatic and circulatory flow underneath. Almond oil, being rich in minerals and lighter in texture, is absorbed steadily, delivering magnesium and vitamin E directly into the tissues. These compounds calm nerves, relax muscle fibers, and nourish blood vessels. Olive oil falls somewhere in between. It is thicker than almond oil, but not as penetrating as castor oil. Its greatest strength lies in its antioxidant load, protecting blood vessels from oxidative stress and supporting elasticity. So, how do you decide which to use? Here is a helpful way to think about it. If you need quick lubrication and a pleasant surface feel, coconut oil is a good choice. If your main goal is deep muscle relaxation and improved pelvic circulation, castor oil is the strongest option. If you want both nourishment and relaxation without too much heaviness, almond oil is ideal. If your focus is long-term vascular health, olive oil should be your companion. This is why some men even rotate oils depending on their needs. For example, coconut oil during intimacy, castor oil for deeper pelvic massage once or twice per week, and almond or olive oil as a daily nourishing routine. It is also important to note safety here. Always choose cold-pressed, pure food-grade oils. Avoid oils mixed with artificial fragrances or chemicals because those can irritate sensitive genital skin. And remember that coconut oil can weaken latex condoms. So if protection is being used, stick with other options. The key insight here is this: not all oils are created equal. Some serve as excellent lubricants, while others provide true therapeutic benefit by absorbing into the tissue. Understanding this difference allows you to choose wisely, supporting not only the mechanics of intimacy, but also the deeper foundations of control, endurance, and vascular health. If this breakdown is helpful, consider subscribing. These are details most men never hear from their doctors, yet they make all the difference in practice. Next, we will move into part 7, where I will share a step-by-step guide for incorporating oils into your weekly routine for better almond oil, calming touch for overactive nerves control and performance. We have explored the science of nerves, circulation, and absorption. But now, let us bring it down to something very practical. How do you actually use these oils in a way that supports control and endurance? Think of this as a ritual that combines physiology with psychology, something that calms your body while training your mind. Step 1. Prepare the environment. This may sound simple, but creating a calm and private space is essential. If your body senses stress or distraction, your nervous system shifts into overdrive, and that alone can shorten endurance. Take 2 minutes to dim the lights, silence your phone, and focus on the experience. Step 2. Warm the oil. Whether you are using castor, almond, olive, or coconut oil, place a small amount in your palms and rub them together until it feels gently warm. Warmth increases absorption and makes the massage more soothing. Cold oil can actually cause subtle tension in the pelvic muscles, which is the opposite of what we want. Step 3. Begin with slow external massage. Apply the oil first to the base of the shaft, the pubic bone area, and the inner thighs. These regions are packed with blood vessels and muscle fibers that play a role in erections and control. Using circular motions with the fingertips, gently massage these areas for 1 to 2 minutes. This step alone increases circulation and begins to calm the nervous system. Step 4. Move to the shaft itself. Coat the skin evenly but avoid rushing. Use long, slow strokes from the base to the tip, focusing on sensation rather than arousal. This is where the ritual effect becomes powerful. By intentionally slowing down, you retrain your brain to associate touch with calm rather than urgency. Step 5. Include the perineum. This is the area between the scrotum and the anus. Often overlooked, but critically important. Underneath lies the bulb spongiosus muscle, which helps control ejaculation. Gently massaging oil into this area releases tension and improves muscle awareness. In clinical terms, this is like doing a manual pelvic floor relaxation. Step 6. Pause before beginning stimulation. After applying the oil, wait 1 to 2 minutes. This allows deeper absorbing oils like castor or almond to penetrate the tissues and start their work. It also builds patience, another form of control training. Finally, step 7. Begin stimulation slowly, maintaining awareness of your breathing. If you notice rising urgency, pause, massage again, or shift focus to the thighs and perineum. This creates a feedback loop where the oil and the ritual both support endurance. What you are doing here is not only physical. You are retraining your entire mind-body connection around arousal. Instead of rushing, you are teaching yourself to savor, to breathe, and to build confidence in your control. Over weeks, this practice becomes a form of conditioning. Your body learns endurance as a new normal. This step-by-step routine is simple, natural, and grounded in science. Oils calm nerves, improve blood flow, and relax muscles. Massage retrains the pelvic floor and the mind. Together, they form a system that gives you more control, both instantly and long-term. If you are finding this helpful, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who could benefit. These are tools men deserve to know about, but too often never hear. Next, we will move into part 8 where I step-by-step oil application routine will talk about the long-term strategy. How combining oil use with lifestyle changes creates lasting improvements in stamina, confidence, and vitality. By now, you can see how oils, massage, and mindful preparation can give you more control in the moment. But the truth is, sexual health is never just about what happens in one night or one experience. It is about the long arc of your health, your habits, and your confidence as a man. That is why this final section is about integration. How you can combine these immediate tools with broader lifestyle strategies to create lasting improvement. First, let us talk about circulation. Erections are at their core a vascular event. If blood flow is limited due to stiff arteries, high blood pressure, or sedentary living, no amount of topical oil can fully correct that. This is why daily habits like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming are so powerful. Harvard researchers have shown that just 30 minutes of moderate activity per day reduces the risk of erectile dysfunction by nearly 40%. Oils may help with local blood flow, but your arteries need exercise to stay flexible and strong. Second, pelvic floor awareness. We discussed how massage around the perineum and pelvic muscles can improve control. To strengthen this further, I recommend combining your oil routine with pelvic floor stretches or Kegel training. Imagine it like tuning both the strings and the body of a guitar. The combination is what creates harmony. Clinical studies from the National Institute of Health confirm that men with premature ejaculation often benefit from pelvic floor rehabilitation alongside topical approaches. Third, hormonal balance. Testosterone, cortisol, and even insulin all affect endurance. Oils support the tissue directly, but your hormones are influenced by sleep, stress, and diet. Poor sleep lowers testosterone. Chronic stress increases cortisol, and high-sugar diets disrupt insulin. All factors linked to weaker erections and shorter stamina. The long-term strategy here is simple but profound. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Manage stress through practices like meditation or deep breathing. And fuel your body with whole foods instead of processed sugars. Fourth, psychological conditioning. Many men carry shame or anxiety into intimacy, and that alone can trigger rapid climax. By creating a ritual around oil application, you are already retraining your brain to associate intimacy with calm over time. Combine this with mindful breathing during arousal. Think of it like teaching your nervous system a new language, one of patience, confidence, and enjoyment rather than urgency and fear. Fifth, consistency. The benefits of oils build over time, much like exercise. If you only use them once in a while, you may notice small effects. But if you integrate them into a weekly daily habits for long-term vitality practice, even if just for massage without stimulation, the cumulative benefits grow. Tissue stays healthier, nerves stay calmer, and your confidence becomes unshakable. This long-term picture matters because sexual health is not isolated from the rest of your life. When you nourish your body, reduce stress, stay active, and pair that with therapeutic tools like oils, you are not only improving your stamina, you are protecting your prostate, supporting your heart, and enhancing your overall vitality. So remember, oils are not magic, but they are powerful allies. When you weave them into a larger system of habits, they become part of a strategy that helps you last longer today and stay healthier for years to come. In our conclusion, I will recap the science, remove the myths, and leave you with one practical action you can start immediately. We began today with a simple but powerful question. Could applying something before masturbation help men last longer instantly? What we discovered is that the answer is yes, but not because of gimmicks or tricks. The answer lies in the real science of how nerves, blood flow, and muscles interact in the male body. We saw that sensitivity and urgency are not signs of weakness. They are reflections of nerve activity and pelvic floor tension, both of which can be calmed with the right approach. Oils like castor, almond, olive, and coconut each play different roles. Some lubricating the surface, others penetrating deeply to relax muscles and improve circulation. We explored how massage, especially around the perineum and pelvic base, does more than feel good. It retrains your nervous system, much like physical therapy retrains a muscle. And we laid out a step-by-step practice that transforms oil application into a ritual, one that combines touch, breath, and patience to give you more control instantly while conditioning your body for long-term endurance. Beyond the moment, we also widen the lens because lasting stamina is not only about what you apply on the outside. It is about movement, sleep, nutrition, hormones, and stress. When you weave oils into a lifestyle that supports circulation, balances hormones, and reduces tension, you create a foundation for stronger erections, deeper confidence, and better overall vitality. So, here's the takeaway I want you to leave with today. Early climax and poor stamina are not fixed conditions. They are signals. Signals that your nerves, your circulation, and your pelvic floor are out of balance. And the tools to restore final takeaway, control, calm, and confidence that balance are within your reach. A bottle of natural oil, a few minutes of focused massage, and the courage to slow down can change not only your performance, but your entire relationship with intimacy. If you take one step this week, let it be this. Choose one oil. Prepare a calm space and begin a slow massage routine before stimulation. Do it with patience. Do it consistently. And notice how your body begins to respond. Remember, you do not have to fear your body. You only need good information and a willingness to apply it. This is common. It is treatable, and you deserve clarity, not shame. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, lasting control is not about tricks. It is about understanding and supporting the body you already have. If this consultation has been helpful, subscribe for more grounded, shame-free health content. Content drawn from what I see every day in the clinic, not from internet myths. And I will see you in the next.